This is Vos-Ver-Vu, the great Yiddish culture quiz, where we ask you the who, the what, and the where of Yiddish culture and Jewish culture more generally. I'm your host, Mikhl Yashinsky, presenting this quiz for the National Yiddish Theater Folksbiene from my bedroom. I'm here on the Lower East Side of Manhattan, only steps away from the great Yiddish theater district of Once Upon a Time. Bruchim haboim to our competitors for this different format of Vos-Ver-Vu. Whom do we have with us today? Nick Block, a professor of German studies, zooming in from Martha's Vineyard. Hello, Nick.
Hello, thank you, Mikhl.
Yes, thank you. Liz Walber, a filmmaker, also zooming in from Massachusetts, but the more westerly portion out in Northampton.
Hello, Mikhl, thank you.
Hello, Liz. And Judy Barlas, a folk art management professional, zooming in from Silver Spring, Maryland.
Thanks, Mikhl.
Hello. All right, the format. There will be 10 toss-ups open to anyone, and I will have a little schmooze with you all in the interlude after 5 toss-ups. You may only provide one guess each for each toss-up. Buzz in if you think you've got it, whenever you've got it, but if you buzz in before the end and you get it wrong, you will lose 5 points. If you do get it wrong before the end, I will continue reading the question, and the other 2 will be free to buzz in whenever they please. Though again, if you buzz in before the question is fully read and you are incorrect, you will lose 5 points. First to answer a toss-up correctly gets 10 points. You will then be invited to answer 3 related bonus questions for 5 points each. Only that person may answer first, but if they cannot provide the correct answer, I will open it up to the other 2 competitors who may buzz in with the correct answer if they think they've got it and steal the 5 points. Last names suffice, but feel free to give the first names of people too if you have them right. You may answer either in Yiddish or in English. Say if the answer is the play Grüne Felder, you may answer with either Grüne Felder or Green Fields. Not all of the questions will be about Yiddish theater, though there will be a good many of those. Other questions will draw more widely from Jewish and Yiddish culture, literature and history, religion, anything that's a bit Jewish or very Jewish. Prizes. The winner will receive an $100 gift certificate to the business of your choosing. So pop open your seltzers and away we go. All right. In 2017, 154 gravestones were vandalized and toppled in the Chesed Shel Emeth Jewish cemetery in a suburb of this city, and Muslim groups there started a fundraiser to repair the damaged monuments. The Bravo talk show host and creator of the Real Housewives series, Andy Cohen, is a Jewish native of the same city. Nick.
Philadelphia?
No, that's incorrect, minus 5 points. The Bravo talk show host and creator of the Real Housewives series, Andy Cohen, is a Jewish native of the same city. For 10 points, name this Midwestern metropolis, famous as the site of the Gateway Arch. Judy.
St. Louis?
That's right, 10 points to you. Now, for 5 points each, Judy, name the cities in which these well-known Jews were born. The 4th longest serving US Senator, Carl Levin, who represented his native state from 1979 to 2015. Where was he born?
Detroit or the suburbs of Michigan.
That's right, in Detroit. Very good. 5 for that. The singer and actress Bette Midler, who was a replacement for the character of Tzeitel in the original Broadway run of Fiddler on the Roof.
New York?
No, she's actually born in Honolulu. Okay, her accompanist for her act at the Continental Baths of New York City, where she first gained fame, Barry Manilow.
Weiß nicht.
Anyone else care to guess? Nick.
New York.
That's right. He's born in Brooklyn, New York, grew up in Williamsburg. So 5 to Nick for that, 5 to Judy for knowing Carl Levin is from Detroit. Very good. Toss-up number 2, open to anyone. The revered Yiddish poet Itzik Manger provided the lyrics to the songs composed by Abraham Elstein for his 1936 Yiddish film, As she was contemplating transitioning to English language entertainment at the time, Molly Pecan was able to net a very high fee relative to typical Yiddish movie incomes of the day, $10,000, or a fifth of the film's entire budget, in order for her to don boys' clothing and star as the film's title violinist. What was that film?
Yiddle Mitten Fiddle.
Yes, so 10 to you for that and your bonuses. For 5 points each, complete these lyrics from the title song, Yiddle Mitten Fiddle or Yiddle with a Violin. Answer either in Yiddish or in English, and I will provide both in the prompts. So in the song, Molly sings, Yiddle Mitten Fiddle, Arya Mitten blank. Yiddle with his fiddle and Arya with his bass or bass, yes. Das Leben is a blank, Tovozhe seinen Kass. Life is a blank, so why be angry?
Slavin is should know this.
Das Leben is a Tovozhe seinen Kass.
Nee, ich hab schon vergessen.
All right, anyone else? You can also answer in English. Life is a blank, so why be angry?
Slavin is a...
All right, that's a Liedl or a little song. Das Leben is a Liedl. Molly sings to a goat in the song, Hey du Zieg, du Scheute, treurig seines Fe. Hey you goat, you idiot, being sad is yuck. Then comes the line, Schockelt das blank, take take fe. He shakes his blank and says, yes, yes, it's yuck.
Sein Kopf?
His beard, his berdel. Schockelt das berdel. Goats have little beards. Nope. This is another toss-up, and it's an audio clue. So, get those eardrums working. It's an audio clue. Toss-up, toss-up. All right, this Avram Goldfaden lullaby you heard, as sung by the Barry sisters, comes from his biblical operetta Shulamis. In it, a woman wishes that her infant son may someday trade in Rojinkis mit Mandlin, raisins and almonds, just like this kind of animal that is resting beneath the child's cradle. For 10 points, name this horned mammal, also, Judy.
A Ziegler goat.
Yes, this is a goat. So a goat making another appearance. Name this horned mammal, also the mascot of the Yiddish Book Center, which has named their version Siggy after the Yiddish word for the creature. For 5 points each, Judy, name these animals of the Hebrew Bible. At first, Jonah is sheltered from the sun outside Nineveh by a large plant, but God later sends this creature to attack the plant, causing it to wither.
A worm.
That's right, a worm. In Hebrew, a toilas, or sometimes a maggot, but yes, a worm traditionally. The Gentile prophet Bilam owns this animal, which God miraculously gives the power of speech.
An ass.
Yes. And the Lord opened the mouth of the ass. And she said unto Bilam, what have I done unto thee that thou hast smitten me these 3 times? Very good. Finish this line from the classic translation of the Song of Songs. The animal may surprise you as it could strike a non-romantic note in this otherwise quite romantic poem, but you would be mistaken. And the line is this, the flowers appear on the earth, the time of singing is come, and the voice of the blank is heard in our land.
The voice of the turtle, which really means the turtle dove, no?
Exactly right, exactly right. Wow, you know your biblical animals. All right. Back to another toss-up. Toss-up number 4. The Sholem Asch novel by this name takes place around 48th Street in New York City. The waterway that gives the novel its title is crossed by a number of bridges, one of which had a walkway so crammed with Jewish pushcart peddlers that the bridge was called by some the Jews' Highway. For 10 points, name this saltwater tidal estuary, not in fact a river despite its name, crossed by the Williamsburg Bridge, and which divides the island of Manhattan from, Nick.
Hudson.
No. Which divides the island of Manhattan from Brooklyn and Queens. Also the title of a Sholem Asch novel.
Ooh.
Any guesses? That's the East River.
Right.
Ooh.
Which is not in fact a river despite its name. I'll now go to one of the bonuses, which will count as a toss-up. So this will be open to anyone. The bonuses are all about bodies of water, but this first bonus is open to anyone and it'll count as a toss-up. This body of water is sometimes called in Yiddish der stiller Yam, the quiet sea. You might think about a body of water in the world whose English name also means something related to quiet. Nick.
Pacific?
The Pacific Ocean. Yes. Der stiller Yam. Okay, so 10 points to you for that. Now you will get 2 bonuses for 5 points each. A Yiddish song about this body of water with words by Avram Reisen and music by Mikhl Gelbar contains the lyric, Und die Chvalias gehen still, gehen zart und lind, wie sie wollten hitten sich tonalei dem Kind. And the waves go quietly, go softly, gently, as if they were being careful not to hurt the child.
The question again was, this is a...
Body of water.
Body of water. I would say the Danube.
No, anyone else? The line that references this body of water is the waves go quietly, softly. Yes, Liz.
Would it be the Nile?
The Nile. What child are they trying not to harm?
Moses.
Of course, yes. Moses in his little kestel. Great. 5 points to you for that. Now a bonus that's back to Nick. Good steal. In the Folksbiene staging of the operetta The Sorceress, the ingenue Mirele is ferried over this body of water when she is brought away from Romania and then sold to an organ grinder in Istanbul.
The Black Sea.
The Black Sea, that's right. All right, another toss-up. This is our last toss-up before our little break. And this is a picture clue. So I'm going to show you this is an image of a famous Jewish woman with her dogs. I'll start just with the dogs, and I'll close out, and whenever you know it, you can buzz in. Liz.
It's Barbra Streisand.
That's Barbra Streisand, yes.
And one of them's a clown.
Well, hold on.
Oh, shit.
Your bonuses are about Barbra Streisand's dogs. For 5 points each, answer these questions about Barbra Streisand's dogs. What is it about the circumstances of 2 of these dogs' birth that made headlines just a few years ago?
They're clones from another dead dog that she had.
Exactly right. She had a dog named Samantha or Sammy, and she had Sammy cloned and got 2 dogs from it. I'll just share. There's a cute image of the dogs visiting their clone mother's grave.
We can all relate.
Yes. Streisand said about them, they have different personalities. I'm waiting for them to get older so I can see if they have Sammy's brown eyes and seriousness.
Oh.
Anyway, so those 2 clone dogs are Violet and Scarlet, but there's a 3rd dog that was in the picture that Barbara owns now. The 3rd dog is named for Barbara's star-making role, the Jewish vaudeville entertainer she portrayed in Funny Girl. So what is that dog's name?
Oh, God, I don't know.
Judy.
Fanny.
Fanny. Fanny after Fanny Bryce. The dog is called Miss Fanny. Yes, indeed. For a variety story on the clones, this is back to Liz. For a variety story on the clones, Barbara suggested the caption, Send in the Clones, her topical take on Send in the Clowns, a song from which 1973 Stephen Sondheim musical that itself takes its name from a chamber work by Mozart.
So embarrassing, I don't remember.
Embarrassing.
It's on the tip of my tongue, you know? Send in the clones.
Yes, yes. Judy.
A little night music.
A little night music. Title based on Eine kleine Nachtmusik.
Yeah.
So, there's a whole lot to go, and it's still anyone's game. I have a little question for each of you. Nick, you're often tweeting away on Yiddish topics under the handle @JewYid. What is the most interesting Twitter debate that you've gotten into?
Oh, gosh. Twitter debates, I mean, so I started the Yiddish account because I'm a professor of German, but I like to dabble in Yiddish. And so I like the nuances of the Yiddish language that we get into on Twitter. And so I will throw out a word and what I like is the different people's pronunciation of it, or people's different interpretations of maybe a Yiddish phrase or saying, and so that's what I really like to really get people involved in there on Yiddish on Twitter.
You do a great job. Judy, you have taken part in a number of Yiddish theater workshops held at various Yiddish cultural festivals where you've performed in scenes from Yiddish theater. What is one of your favorite roles you've done in one of these workshops?
Oh, I think, I can't remember whom I was playing, but I think that my favorite experience was when Namasandro suddenly handed me this thing and said, we're going to do this tomorrow just as part of a lecture she was giving. And I went home and looked at it, and this was heavy stuff. And I really wasn't sure what was going on. And then we got up there the next day. We hadn't rehearsed. I was doing it with Daniel Kahn and Yeva Lapsker, and it was a major challenge, but that was exciting, but hard.
It's always nice to have seal of approval from such a sort of expert in the field as Namasandro.
Yeah, she said very nice things afterwards, which kind of took me aback, but yeah, that was
That's
really
wonderful.
cool. I miss having those actual acting workshops at Yiddish New York. I really learned a lot there.
Yes. I think we all miss acting in general with other people in a room.
In a room.
And Liz.
Hello.
Hello. You make movies, and you recently released an absurdly relevant short called Shelf Life, a lesbian love story set at the end of the world. Is there anything new that you're currently cooking up, hopefully something that will prove less frighteningly prophetic than your last project did?
Hopefully. I'm currently helping my friend Abby, who has a theater group that is performing radio plays using Zoom, the program we all know and love. But besides that, I guess on my own sort of front, I have a couple of scripts in the works. One, again, about lesbians at the end of the world, but this time much less experimental in nature, I guess. A lot more sort of boring, that will be set in Madison and will be shot in Madison. And hopefully can actually happen someday in a few years.
Wowee. So a lot going on in the Pioneer Valley, it seems. A lot of interesting collaborators there.
Yeah, I mean, like humans are creative, and I think that this crisis has taught us that you can't keep humans down when it comes to creating.
Wise words. So let's create some more fun and hot competition in Yiddish culture trivia and get into this second half of our game. Great, your sixth toss-up. The Greek city Thessaloniki is known in this language, once spoken there widely by the city's Jews, as Salonika. The Istanbul Jewish periodical Shalom prints one page weekly in the same language, though the rest of the newspaper is in Turkish. Nick.
Ladino.
Ladino, yes. Judeo-Spanish, Ladino. For 5 points each, answer these questions about the Ladino language and culture. The popular Hanukkah song Ocho Candelicas was written by this Sephardic composer born in 1923 in Sarajevo, and she's actually still around. Yes, Judy?
Lori Jagoda, and she lives just south of Washington, D.C. in Virginia.
Ah, have you met her?
Yes, I have.
Ah, very exciting. I once went to a documentary about her life, and she was meant to attend, but she stayed home in Virginia. Her daughter came instead, but her daughter was very interesting also. Back to Nick. The Ladino word meaning this drops the S from the Spanish word from which it derives. Folk etymologies say that this was done to detach the word from any plural connotations that the final S may have brought to it.
No idea.
Do either of you have a notion, Judy or Liz? Yes.
I would think it might be God.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly right. The Spanish word is Dios. The Ladino word is Dio. And some people say that this was done, they cut off the final S because they didn't want, they wanted to project a monotheistic image. But that might just be a folk etymology. Very good. Back to Nick. This actor grew up in Queens, hearing Ladino from his grandparents, all of them Jews from Salonika. His ear for languages and accents would later land him such roles as the Guatemalan housekeeper in The Birdcage and a variety of voice parts on The Simpsons.
Do not know.
All right, either of you? Yes, grew up actually as a teenager being able to speak Ladino, he said in an interview. But that's Hank Azaria.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, seventh toss-up. Buzzers at the ready. Oh, this is a delicious picture round. I'm going to show you a photograph of a lesser-known Ashkenazic food. You tell me what the food is. The Skverer Rebbe serves this dish, a kind of potato kugel with meat in it, at his weekly tish. This is little talked about, but it's potato kugel with meat inside. Nick.
Yapchik.
Yapchik, that's right, yapchik. Your toss-ups, your bonuses are also all lesser-known Ashkenazic foods.
Okay.
This dish of jellied calf's feet, often served with chopped hard-boiled eggs.
Pacha.
Exactly right. This numerically named cake, a specialty of Jewish bakeries in Detroit, said by some to derive from the Hungarian Esterházy tort.
7-layer cake.
Yes, 7-layer cake. And this green soup made with a certain kind of sour-tasting herb. You can give me either the Yiddish name or the name for the herb in English, which is what the soup is called in English.
Kale soup, I don't know.
Anyone else? Judy.
Stav, my dad liked it.
Ah, yes. Do you like it?
I've never had it homemade, and I've been thinking I should try. We got it out of a jar,
Mm-hmm.
What's the English name?
It's sorrel soup. All right. Another toss-up. A production that ran one evening only in 1936 at this New York City institution sought unsuccessfully to reestablish an American branch of the Vilna troupe. The building has in later years played host to a wide variety of Jewish-themed performances, panel discussions, and interviews with celebrities. For 10 points, what is this Jewish cultural center of the Upper East Side, named for both the street that it is on and for a community organization founded in the 19th century as a Jewish beauty?
92nd Street Y?
Yes, 92nd Street Y, standing for the 92nd Street Young Men's, Young Women's Hebrew Association. That's it. Your bonuses are all notable buildings of Jewish communities worldwide. Theodor Herzl was born in a house next to this grand synagogue of Budapest, featuring 2 onion-shaped domes and named for the street on which it stands.
No, I don't know.
Anyone else?
I've been there. I forget the name though.
So have I. That's why I thought of it. But it's the Dohany Street Synagogue. Or Dohany apparently in Hungarian means tobacco. I would have also expected the Yiddish name for the shul, which was the Tabak Shul, the tobacco shul. Back to Judy. At this synagogue in Newport, Rhode Island, the oldest still standing in the United States, there's an annual reading of a letter that George Washington wrote to the congregation on the theme of religious pluralism after visiting the building in 1790.
Oh, is this the Truro Synagogue?
Exactly right, the Truro Synagogue. And your third bonus. At this small cultural center established in the Bronx in the 1950s, monthly lectures and concerts are given in Yiddish, or at least they were prior to the current plague.
Oh, the Shalom Aleichem, I don't know what the whole name of the...
That's fine, I'll accept just Shalom Aleichem, but it's the Shalom Aleichem Cultural Center. But Cultural Center was in the question, so Shalom Aleichem is fine. Very good. This is a music clue. For 10 points, name the Dallas-raised Jewish-American singer-songwriter heard on this 90s jam.
And I thought that I don't belong. And now that I am leaving, now I know that I did something wrong, 'cause I missed you.
Liz.
I'm gonna give a bad guess. Is it Sheryl Crow?
Not Sheryl Crow. Any other bad guesses? That's Lisa Loeb. Lisa Loeb. I'll give now the first bonus as the new toss-up. So the song was called I Missed You, stay in parentheses, I missed you. For 5 points each, no, this one's 10 points, but these bonuses are all questions related to songs or poems written from the perspective of Jews who miss someone or something. Good. In her bilingual poem, Die Reise Aheim, The Journey Home, this poet, a child survivor of the Holocaust, whose father was killed in the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, Liz.
Irina Klepfish.
Irina Klepfish, yes. The line from that poem that I was going to quote is, Wie soll, how, she wonders, should I speak? Welche Wörter, which words should I use in der Fremd, among strangers? That's Irina Klepfish. Now that's 10 to you for that. 2 more bonuses for 5 points each about Jews who miss someone or something. The first line of a famous 12th century poem by this Jewish Spanish writer, in which he longs for the land of Israel, reads, my heart is in the east and I in the uttermost west. Or in the original Hebrew, Libi b'mizrach ve'anochi b'sof ma'arav. Who wrote that line in the 12th century?
I don't know.
Anyone else? A Jewish Spanish poet and philosopher. No, it's Yehuda Halevi. In the chorus of this song, a mainstay of the Yiddish theater with words and music by Solomon Smulowitz, a mother writes from Europe to her son in America, requesting, Schreib geschwind, liebes Kind, schenk ihr die Nechome. Write quickly, dear child, and grant her this consolation. What is the name of that song?
I don't know.
Briefe der Mamen?
That's exactly right. A Little Letter to Mother. Very good. A tear-jerking Yiddish song. Back to your toss-ups, and this is the very last toss-up of the game, the 10th toss-up. Okay, a movement of Jewish youth existed in Vilna from 1927 to 1937, founded by the Yiddish linguist Max Weinreich, who intended that its hierarchical structure should resemble a beehive. For 10 points, name this Jewish scouting organization with a socialist and Yiddishist outlook, whose name is also the Yiddish word for bee. Nick.
Bean.
Bean, yes. Your bonuses are on Jewish youth activities for 5 points each. This was the Bundist summer camp that operated in the Catskills from 1959 to 1978, and whose theme song was Mir Kummen On.
I do not know.
Liz.
Brick, right? Or is it Hemshech?
It's not Boybrik. Judy.
Yeah, Hemshech.
It is Hemshech. But it's easy to get those confused.
Yeah, they're very similar.
All right. Second bonus. Sacha Baron Cohen first acted as a child in theatrical productions put on by this socialist Zionist youth movement, of which he was a committed member. Sacha Baron Cohen.
Youth movement? I don't know. Blunt, but that's wrong. No, I don't know.
Do either of you know it, Judy or Liz?
I know it, but I can't remember the name.
You can try to guess again, Nick, for no points.
Is it white?
Habonim Dror.
No. Okay.
Habonim Dror. Third bonus. Camp Moden in Maine, one of the only Jewish summer camps to open this summer during the pandemic, is the same camp that inspired what cult classic film set at a Jewish summer camp and starring Janine Garofalo and Michael Ian Black, whose writer-director David Wayne attended the camp as a child. Looking for the name of the movie that this camp inspired.
Band camp? I don't know.
That is Wet Hot American Summer. A really wonderful game that all of you played, and you knew a whole lot. I knowed not how to speak properly, but Liz, 35 points, Nick, 50 points, and Judy, a whopping 105 points. So Judy, you got just about the same number of points as you will get on the gift card of your choosing. So isn't that fun?
Good job,
Thank
Judy.
you all for playing. Yes, bravo to all of you, and a special bravo to Judy. Thanks to all of you for playing, to everyone watching at home, and to everyone at the National Yiddish Theater Folksbiene who helped make this possible. Remember, all the world's a great big question, so go out and find some answers. Until then, it's Seid gesund from Liz.
Seid gesund.
Seid gesund from Nick.
Seid gesund.
Seid gesund from Judy.
Seid gesund.
And seid gesund from me. Seid gesund.